We would like to tell you a story, a Christmas story. It starts with a city. This is Los Angeles, known to the whole world as LA. Sometimes it's called the City of Angels, the City of Sunshine, or Tinseltown, because the sun always shines here, and big dreams can come true here. After all, this is where Hollywood is. Beverly Hills, the biggest movie studios. LA is the third richest city in the world. It's number 3 in the list of the most number of millionaires in the world. But LA has a dark side. Los Angeles has one of the highest poverty rates in the United States. 60,000 people in LA are homeless. Almost 800,000 people in LA live below the poverty line. That's more than 20% of the population. 2 million people live with food insecurity in Los Angeles County. That means 1 in 5 people here may not know where their next meal will come from. Of that number, almost 500,000 are children. It's hard to understand how this can happen in one of the wealthiest cities in the world. But it's Christmas. And stories have happy endings at Christmas time, when we celebrate the birth of the greatest love that can heal our souls. So today, let the Children's Joy Foundation tell you now this sad story becomes a story of joy.
I've been homeless in LA for 30 years. I lost a job that I can't do anymore, that I did for 28 years. I was in the car amusement business, and I fell off an amusement ride and broke my back, and I can't do it anymore.
I came here originally for the Dream Center. I've been here about 6-7 months now. It's tough. I've been homeless on and off for about the past 7 years.
Los Angeles today is facing its greatest humanitarian crisis. The Los Angeles Services Authority says there are now 60,000 people who are homeless today. Almost 9,000 are children and young people. On any given night, 44,000 of them are in the streets. Skid Row is located at the epicenter of LA. It has become symbolic of what it is like to be homeless in America. What started out as an area for those who are marginalized by poverty in the late 19th century now spans 54 blocks. Every year, this number increases. And this year, it has increased by 11%.
There's 1,000 reasons on why it happens. I mean, of course, there's addiction is involved with that. There's a lot of physical handicap in LA here. There's a lot of mentally handicapped in LA here. Some of these people are just life can just throw some things at you that you weren't thinking as you were younger, going into life, that would happen to you.
My mom was Hawaiian Portuguese. My dad was Portuguese Puerto Rican.
What brought you here in California?
Because I was supposed to come here to change my life because I was on meth in Hawaii and I was really bad in drugs. And, you know, just because I had a bad relationship for 20 years, my ex-husband used to be on meth and I started meth when I was 30 years old. Yeah. And I still struggle with that, you know, right now too. I'm starting to steal from stores and you know, that's how I make my living every day. I've been stuck here, and then now we're homeless, and it's like, I don't even live this life, but, you know, I do, and because I have an addiction, you know, and I struggle every day. I got 4 girls, 1 boy, and I talked to my daughter the other day, and they want me to come home.
Would you like to go home?
And I want to go home, but it's like finances, I don't have it. my kids, I don't want to depend on them to pay for my ticket or anything, you know, like that's not their problem. But
do
my
you
mom
really,
was,
do you really want to go home?
yeah, my daughter said, Mom, just come home already.
What most people don't know is that only 30% of LA's homeless are on drugs or are mentally ill. The rest are working, but just can't afford to pay rent.
I have multiple sclerosis, and all my health care got cut off. SSI, everything got cut off because I didn't have a mailing address because I went homeless. After they kicked me out in Silver Lake, 23 years in the same place, never missed rent. They called me a nuisance so they could raise the rent and get me kicked out. So 2.5 years in court to try to keep my house and I didn't do anything wrong.
Some people don't understand that everybody that's homeless ain't drug users, don't do dope, don't rob, rape, and steal from every woman that they see. That's not the way it is. You get one bad apple and they try to make it like it's all of them, and that's not the case. I got good people that live here. Lost a job, no jobs in their field, not able to afford rent. You make the rent affordable, people can move into places.
Almost 10,000 people in LA live in their cars. That's why many cities and groups have designated safe parking areas for people to safely park their cars there at night.
And families can get, all it takes is somebody losing their job, and all of a sudden, maybe you can make it for a month or two on your rent, but you don't have any savings as per se. It's so expensive to live here, for one. So housing costs is one reason why a lot of people maybe are homeless, but not a high percent, but it's a percentage. And a lot of the families are in that situation, or maybe there's been some sort of a struggle between the mother and the father, and whether it be domestic issues or addictions or whatever. Anyway, so they lose their house.
I have 2 kids, Ariana and Joshua, and she's 8 years old, and my little boy, he's 6. I used to come here when I was little to this school, and I really like this school. I really like the teachers. Some of the teachers here are my friends. They used to be my friends when I used to come here.
She is a single parent, so she needs 2 jobs to support her 2 kids.
I work at Subway in the morning, and then I have to go to another job right now, and yes, really, really hard.
She shares a room with her parents, and despite her 2 jobs, struggles to pay her share of the rent and to provide for her children.
In this area, it's about $1,500 and up for a 1-bedroom apartment. If you make minimum wage, you will not be able to pay for that rent. Therefore, leaving a lot of our families, having to struggle.
They help me here for the kids with the food, but yeah, it's really hard with the rent, bills, the clothes, everything.
Many of our students don't have any other means to have food. So our school opens as early as 6:30 in the morning, and then we have an after-school program so that our students can remain with us from 6:30 in the morning until 6 p.m. For that reason, we offer breakfast in the classroom in the morning. We provide them with lunch, and we are now providing them with a warm meal at supper.
I went to therapy. Right now, they were like so attached to me. They didn't want to leave me. Every time they were like, no, she's gonna leave. I went to a shelter with my kids. I stood there for like a month. I was right there by myself with them. And after that, my parents, they went and they were like, Yoli, come on, you have to do more than this. You have to see for your kids. Don't get stuck. Stop. Just don't be depressed. You have to do more than that. And yeah, I did. And right now I'm doing it. And I'm so proud of myself.
Homeless situation is a very difficult one. Our students that are homeless and that are struggling are our most resilient. They are able to show that despite the adversity, with the right support, they can still thrive.
Vanessa is in that situation right now. 5 months ago, she and her 3 children were evicted from their one-room apartment in LA. The experience was very traumatic for her children.
We got evicted from our home in April. Ever since that day, I hit kind of rock bottom, sad, depressed. But I'm trying to be positive for the kids. We all go to therapy. I mean, that's helping. They're struggling a little bit with expressing their emotions and about the situation, but overall they're doing really well in school.
When the children's father stopped giving his support, she had no choice but to seek help at the Union Rescue Mission in Skid Row.
Well, we've been living in a shelter for, I think 5 months now. We've been there I've been homeless for 5 months, but we started being in a shelter since July. And we're still there, trying to find housing. It's difficult. The kids don't like the environment, but they tend to be okay as long as we're together.
But Vanessa and the kids take the bus all the way to Loretto Street Elementary School because it is their lifeline. For Vanessa's and Yolanda's kids, school is the only thing that is stable in their life. Loretto Street Elementary School is a little elementary school located in northeastern Los Angeles.
Our school is predominantly Hispanic, with a few Asian and African American students, and we are considered a Title I school because more than 94% of my students qualified for free lunch because they're of low income. So it means that a lot of our students fall on the poverty level, and we have about 94% of our school community falling in the lowest range of income.
Being on the poverty line means a family of 4 earns $35,000 a year, or roughly $2,900 a month. If half of it goes to rent, there is barely enough to meet the family's needs.
A lot of families in my situation with like at least 5 kids, 6 kids. I'm not the only one. I've spoken to other parents and they kind of same familiar situation.
Mrs. Arcienega grew up in a neighborhood much like Loretto Street. And she too experienced poverty growing up in LA. With this experience and the knowledge of what most of the children in school are facing at home, she has taken a proactive stand as an educator.
So our teachers, one of the number one thing that we do is we have to know our students and we have to know their stories. And within that comes that empathy and that support.
The Children's Joy Foundation works with a lot of groups that like to volunteer and help out. As the foundation began focusing on responding to the increasing poverty here in Los Angeles, the Keepers Club International and its team of youth volunteers provided a lot of energy and enthusiasm as they supported its projects around the city. Just a month ago, it tied up with youth volunteers from schools all over LA in doing volunteer work at the Los Angeles Regional Food Bank.
Food insecurity impacts LA County differently than most people realize. 24% of the food we distributed last year went to children.
I thought everyone here would be rich. Like, that was my first thought here. Like, everyone would be living in this very beautiful place. It's so fancy. But then when I came here, I'm just like, oh, there's so many poor here. There's so many homeless people. I did not expect that.
I see a lot of poverty there. I experienced the poverty myself. Before, I even skipped lunch just to go to school because the money that I have is only enough to go for my transportation. My mom said that America is better than the Philippines. So in my mindset, I'm always thinking that there's no poverty here. But when I see it in my own eyes, that I'm wrong because every street there's a homeless people begging for help.
Many people do not realize this, but there is definitely a big hunger problem here in the United States, especially towards children who are in elementary, middle, and high schools. Many teachers happen to report that children nowadays are not even eating breakfast, which is a big concern because many of the kids happen to tell their teacher that they have no food at home, and it is a big problem. Places like the LA Food Bank really helps places here in the United States because it helps tackle the problem with homelessness and food hunger.
Whenever young people come together with one voice and with really this purpose, they actually just don't create a group, but they create a certain movement, and that's where really empowerment actually starts.
Feeding program in a sense, but it's more of addressing the hunger issues, not just here in Los Angeles, but all over the United States. And we partner with LA Food Bank to help the communities to supply food for the homeless, for the less fortunate families, low-income families also.
The activities the youth are doing is we're separating the food from dairy to meat to grains, and then putting them in boxes, and then they'll be shipped off to the kids.
I'm Michelle Tangara. I'm president of Phi Delta Epsilon at UCLA. We are a pre-medical international professional fraternity, and one of our guiding principles is service and helping out the LA community in addition to the professionalism that we offer. And so we're here to help out the LA community and participate in some work with the food bank. Having participated in this morning's food sorting out was really a wonderful opportunity, I think. I think it reminded me that sometimes we take food for granted, and there's other communities out there who don't have the privilege of always having a meal ready, and just being able to volunteer my time to help sort out the food, I think was a really great way to spend my morning.
It makes me feel happy. It makes me feel humbled because I have food every day, and knowing that I'm helping other people to have food because they don't have food of their own.
And as the Children's Joy Foundation here in America has sought to raise awareness and respond to increasing homelessness in LA, the young people have been actively volunteering too.
You know, we're all going through difficult times, all of us. You know, we go through like moments in our life where it gets really rough, and they're just, you know, going through a transition themselves too. I decided to come here because I really have a desire to help those that are in need. And I wanted to just give back to my community, and I wanted to help out in any way that I could. And so I actually changed my schedule at work to come here. And my boss, you know, I was fortunate enough to actually do that.
I definitely wanted to just really help out my community. You know, we're all human at the end of the day, and we all just, at any moment in time in our lives, we could be in need of something. And so for me, I view it as just a way for us to give to others that are in need, because we could be in that situation at any time as well. And really just to give them some hope, just to give them something to smile about for their day. And so, you know, I'm just happy that they were enjoying their food and that they were happy to just be eating.
When I see them, I usually think of what they have been through. What I feel is like I try to be nice to them so they can feel like they're being respected.
Hello, this is Kay, and we are here at Starbucks, and we're just discussing the Keepers Club and Children's Joy Foundation USA's upcoming project this holiday season. And right now we're exchanging ideas and just thinking of ways how we can spread the love this holiday season.
And actually we've been looking around, and we found this school, and we found out that there are a lot of low-income families and even homeless families that goes there. So we thought it would be a good idea to, you know, to do our projects there this Christmas season.
I agree, and Lester, we found this group of people community in Echo Park who are homeless themselves, and I think it would be a great project for us to also reach out to homeless community.
Yeah, and you can always lean on us when it comes to manpower, any assistance that you need.
Yes.
If you need like more resources that we can provide, we're like more than willing to give it.
Let's make a difference.
Let's do it!
Hello everyone. We are walking around the park. There's so much ducks here. They're walking around everywhere.
I just named myself right now the Black Lady. When I come here, before I start to feeding them, they know they all come. Follow me. I live very close by, yes.
How long have you been living here in LA?
In LA? 40 years.
Oh. Why are there so many people that are homeless?
Well, it's because of the weather. Other states, they are putting them into a bus, sending to LA. Most of them are from different states. But the rent is so high, they cannot afford it.
This city is beautiful but expensive. If you want to live in Los Angeles, that's an expensive city. So everything high. The gasoline's high, the rent is high, the food is high. That's too much. And you cannot make it. You have to make it something very good. You know, guys have to make it to survive in one way to another because we got place on the Lord. And they will reach we survive in Los Angeles.
It would be harder than, it would be really hard because I can see them just living in tents and knowing that especially that it's winter time. It's raining and it's cold, just being out there with just a tent and not having enough comfortability and warmthness.
I think it's just hard for them because they're just living out here in the winter and they're all by themselves.
It makes us appreciate and to think about how more fortunate we are.
Yeah.
And because at least we have a home and you don't need to worry about losing money or making more money. We thank the Father for
all the blessings we have, and we're grateful.
It feels really good because it's Christmas time, and they don't have their own Christmas tree, and they don't have money to buy each other presents and buy what they want for Christmas. Especially the kids, because every kid wants something for Christmas. So we feel very blessed and very happy to be here to give the people what they deserve and something that they haven't experienced in a while.
Lance! He's a musician. You won! Yeah. Alright. Hot! Eddie! Hot Eddie! Wow. Allison! Ernesto! Rick! Welcome everybody! We hope you enjoy it.
Hi, I'm Cam. I'm 19 and I'm originally from Boston, Massachusetts.
So, how long have you been here in LA?
4 months now.
It's probably be the first Christmas that I can spend with my family, but that's okay.
You're from where?
I'm from New Jersey. Originally. It's okay as long as you stay positive, stay strong, keep pushing forward.
I feel like, to be honest, what I really want for Christmas is to be successful. I have a lot of plans. Like, I just feel like I want to get a job, get off the streets next year. I really appreciate it, because a lot of people don't really come through and just help people out, or like, I actually thought this Christmas was gonna be worse than my last, but I was very unfortunate that at least I got a gift this Christmas, because
Good food?
Yeah, good. That's good. We're glad.
a lot of people don't really just sit down and just talk to each other. And this is rare, Sometimes you really don't get that in life. Yeah, especially like a homeless person like me.
I don't do any drugs, and they had me on 29 prescription drugs and locked up in hospitals with IVs. I was dying, so I got out. I'm in here, I ride my little bicycle. I'm living life. Holy night, all is calm, all is bright. Round young bells, young mother and child.
To be honest, think about how many people really just need someone to talk to. And we all just sat together as people and just talked to each other like we'd be great.
No, I'm no, you say hearing like music behind it someday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Acapella.
Acapella. Some of the children don't get that. They don't get gifts. Sometimes they don't get anything at all for Christmas, or even for just a gift at all.
It's actually our very first time doing something special for the school, not knowing that these children are going through so much. And this is something that we could do to kind of extend what Christmas is like, that there's someone out there who loves him very much.
We've never really done an implementation or such an event like this where there's more than 300 kids attended, and with the short amount of time of preparation we were jumping through hoops, but I'm just glad that everything worked out, and the kids, seeing all their reactions and how joyful and happy they were to receive something, especially in this Christmas season. It paid everything off, and it's all worth it.
Are you ready? We're gonna play some games. Do you like those? We have we ready, boys and girls? All right, and I want to thank all the volunteers and everybody who's been working so hard today to have this very special treat for our students. Because at any moment, how do we know Santa Claus has arrived before he arrives? When you hear what? Sound jing, what? Jingle bells!
It was amazing. I mean, it's just to see their faces and for them to come up to me and approach me and ask me, especially, are we keeping this shirt? Are we eating this food? Are we getting this gift? It's just amazing and unbelievable to see how much joy you guys have brought to them.
So even that small little mementos you guys gave them, they did appreciate it a lot, and even we did. Their faces told everything. Their happiness, they smiled. It was beautiful. Thank you, really. Thank you so much. You guys coming, it was just a godsend. I'm not gonna lie. I know I shouldn't say that, but I'm not gonna lie. It was wonderful. It was just like a miracle. We really needed something like that in our community, honestly.
I want to thank the Children's Joy Foundation for their generosity and all the volunteers for their time. The energy felt in the room from the moment the event began to the very end. As you can hear, there's still a lot of positive energy, very happy, very excited, and we are very grateful to the organization for their kindness and generosity and for making our kids so happy today. I'm sure that this will be an everlasting memory for them and for many of our families.
Christmas reminds us that we are the ones who write the happy endings to any story. No matter how dark the world may seem at times, we can help set it on a new track. We can create a change by making an impact, by taking action, by giving ourselves. We often think the little things we can do for others don't matter, but they do. Giving a helping hand, giving food to those who are hungry, spending time with someone, talking to them. This plants a seed of love, gives hope, and makes change happen. Love is still what the world needs today.